I would just give an advice, for example, for these undergraduate students. While you are studying or pursuing your undergraduate degree, it is better to like participate in internship or work-based placement, or maybe take any leadership role in your community. It counts.
So, yeah, welcome, Monica.
Thank you, Vanessa, for having me today.
Thank you for honoring my invite too. I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, I'm good. And thank God here in Scotland, the weather is improving now. At least
Wow.
we are having some sunshine. So summer is
Yeah.
promising here.
Yay.
Yeah,
I know, right? Everyone is happy when it's getting to summer because Aberdeen is too cold and windy. I hate it.
me too, me too. Like, for example, in April, it was like the weather was so gloomy. Like all day, it was cloudy, sometimes raining the whole day. And it comes even difficult to like navigate from one point to another. So
Yeah.
yeah, glad that the sun is coming now.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would be glad if you can give us a brief introduction of yourself, your name, where you come from, your program of study. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Monica Bernard, and I come from Tanzania. Currently, I'm staying in Aberdeen, Scotland, and I'm studying at the University of Aberdeen, pursuing Masters of Science in Global Health and Management.
Okay, wow, that's impressive. University of Aberdeen
Yeah,
is one of the greatest institutions in the UK. So it's great to be part of such a prestigious university, you know, the feeling is
yeah,
wonderful. And yeah,
yeah.
so as I earlier told my viewers, and as you are well informed, we are going to discuss your experience with the Chevening. Is it Chevening or Chevening? Like people pronounce it differently.
Yeah, people
Chevening.
pronounce it different. Some say Chevening, some say Chevening.
Yeah, because I've come across some British people who actually say Chevening. Yeah, but back home people say Chevening. So Chevening, your Chevening scholarship experience. But then first and foremost, we would want to know what is the Chevening scholarship? What is it about? Yeah.
Okay, so Chevening Scholarship is a prestigious international scholarship, and it is funded by the UK government under the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. It is specifically funded for professionals who have leadership traits, and it covers more than 160 countries across the globe. So the Chevening Scholarship helps successful applicants to pursue their postgraduate degree in the UK once they have been given an offer.
Okay. So is the Chevening scholarship different from the Commonwealth scholarship? Because I know there's Commonwealth scholarship too.
Yeah, so these are two different scholarships, but they are funded under one department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then who is eligible to apply for the Chevening scholarship?
So first of all, a person who has professional leadership traits is allowed to apply, and this person must have come from the Commonwealth countries, or we call them the Chevening countries or territories. He or she must have completed an undergraduate diploma degree, which is an entry point to their postgraduate degree, and must have scored at least an upper second class during their undergraduate degree. And
Okay.
moreover, this person, he or she must have 2 years of working experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So the 2 years work, at least 2 years work experience is prerequisite, right? It's
yeah,
prerequisite. So like those of us who just came out from undergrad and probably we want to pursue our careers, let me say further studies in the graduate school, but then have no work experience, it means automatically like you are disqualified. At least you should have worked for 2 years.
I would say not, because I have seen undergraduate students who have just completed their education and they were selected to join the Chevening, to join the postgraduate degree. So with this one, it comes, maybe I'll just give an advice, for example, for these undergraduate students. While you are studying or pursuing your undergraduate degree, it is better to like participate in internship or work-based placement, or maybe take any leadership role in your community. It counts, you know? So it doesn't have like you have to be maybe employed or you have employed yourself for a certain time or for at least 2 years, no, but taking those small kind of works like internships or work-based placement or working voluntarily in your community counts to the 2 years of experience.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then people who enter or who take positions with the SRC student representative was it council of I've forgotten. So the SRC people on campus, SRC executives and members who work hand in hand with in faculty members in that process, they also try to equip themselves with some skills, right? And it is counted as work experience. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Especially leadership, in terms of leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So some of us we didn't know, so I would say some people were not interested. Aside from the academics, most people were not really interested in like taking such positions, even when it is given to them on a silver platter. So I think this is an eye opener, so that those in the undergrad, you try to seize those opportunities and they count, because nowadays it's difficult in Africa to come out from school and then get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the little internships and then small campus leadership programs, you should really partake, and they count. They boost the CV. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, okay. And then what is needed in the application? So first and foremost, I would want to know what is the time frame. So what time, if I want to apply for the Chevening scholarship, so this
Mhm.
year, when am I supposed to turn in my application? And then what are some of the documents or requirements that is needed?
Okay, so for Chevening scholarship, it takes up to 8 months to receive, like you've been offered a scholarship. And usually the applications opens in August or September of each year and closes in early November of each year. And from there, the committee starts to assess the applications in mid-November, and in February next year, the following year, shortlisting of successful applicants are being informed for an interview. And in April, from March to April, interview starts. And you will have also to wait for the results. The results of the interview comes in June.
Okay.
And from June, once you are been informed that you have been successful, they will ask you to like complete the offer requirements in July. So maybe, for example, if you haven't submitted your academic documents, then you will be asked to submit, or if you haven't submitted your unconditional offer from the university, you will be prompted to submit in July. And once you have submitted all the documents, then you will start your studies in September or October, depending on the university start dates. And what is required with the documents? First of all, as I've said before, the eligibility criteria that you must have looked if you are eligible for the application, and you must have your academic papers, the undergraduate papers, to show that you have completed your undergraduate degree and you performed well, like having the upper second class during
Okay.
your undergraduate. And from that, you will also have to look for references, like people who will refer you to your to your application. And this is, it is advised that you have an academic reference and professional reference. So it is very vital to look for these people and who are very willing to support your application.
Okay, so with the professional reference, say probably my professional experience I have gained is probably being an entrepreneur. So do I recommend myself, or how does that also work?
No, I don't think you should have to recommend yourself.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to find someone else who knows you. For example, if you have been working as an entrepreneur, there must be someone who saw you doing the entrepreneurship activity, right?
Yeah.
And someone who knows well what you're doing. So that is someone who is required to the application. It doesn't have to be yourself. It has to be someone else.
Okay, so basically you need your university, say transcripts, certificates, and then you need academic references, and then also professional reference is important. And how did you go about your application? Was it an online, or you had to write like the normal pen and paper and then post it, or how is it like?
So with Chevening application, it's always online. So they have their own system whereby you have to log in and register. And after registering, you will get your username and password, which will always allow you to like have access to the system.
Okay.
And after having access, there is a quiz for eligibility. Like you have to answer several questions, and then the system assesses for eligibility if you are eligible to apply. So after you have passed the eligibility test, then there is an application form with several questions which has word limits. And it is very, very important to pay attention to the word limit in every question that has been asked.
Okay.
And with me, because it was an online, and with the questions, sometimes the questions were not easy to answer, like it took me some time to complete the question. So what I did is I just copy pasted the questions and answered them offline.
Okay.
And after answering the questions offline, I checked for grammar and plagiarism, because they also do that. If they find that you have maybe plagiarized, then your application is going to be canceled. And I also looked for a mentor or a peer, someone who can peer review my application to see if what I've written makes sense, or if there is anything that I need to delete or add. Then it's very important to have someone to check your application. And so after my application was peer reviewed, and I was confident that yes, this is me, and this is what I want to share with the secretariat, I just copy pasted my answers to the system. And from there, they will ask you to like upload your certificates or documents. And during the initial process of application, it doesn't mean that you have to like upload your references at the initial stage. No, there is a timeline. Maybe they will tell you by February next year, you will have to upload your references, or by July mid-year, you will have to upload your unconditional offer, something like that. So every stage has its timeline and deadline, and someone has to pay very much attention to the timeline. So yeah, after I was confident that this was me and this is what I want to submit, then I submitted my application to the Chevening Secretariat.
Okay, and after submitting everything, it took how long before you heard from them?
Okay, so after submitting, it was I submitted in part November 2020.
The entire
And
application?
yeah, the entire application. And
Okay.
in February, the following year, in February, I was shortlisted for an interview.
Oh, wow. So how
Yeah.
was the interview like? Can you share?
Oh yeah, so the interview actually for us, it was before the pandemic, we were doing the first-to-first interview. So I attended my interview at the British Embassy in my country, Tanzania. And the panel consists of 3 panelists, and the questions were based on my essay. I think they wanted to see is it Monica who we read her essay, or is it someone else, or did someone write something for her? So I think it was just to prove if it was really me who wrote the essays, and it went quite well. I'm glad.
Wow. So basically, the entire interview was centered on the essay you wrote.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then there were additional questions. For example, with the Chevening Secretariat, they want to assess your leadership skills. They want to see how are you going to network in your community or with the Chevening community. They want to hear about your career plan. Like what would you like to achieve in the future, and how are you going to achieve it? They also want to hear about why have you chosen UK? Why do you want to study in the UK? What will you do after you have been successfully offered this offer? And what will you do after you have completed your studies? So those are kind of questions that are being asked during the interview.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then, so after the interview, you had to go and then wait for them to decide, or the decision was instant? Did they give you a
No,
decision there and there? Okay.
no, actually, we waited for at least 4 months
Okay.
to receive the feedback of our interview. The
Okay.
results of interview were released in June.
Oh, okay. So then
Yeah,
you were scored. Was it scored? Like, say, probably when they try to assess your leadership, they say, okay, probably Monica fared well, so let's give her 90 or 80. Did they score the interview?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah, they have their marking rubric. So
okay.
once they ask the question, they pay attention to what you give, or how you answer the question, and then they are looking for certain traits. For example, she mentioned this, and this is what we wanted to hear. She has mentioned this, she missed this, So from there, they will do the grading, like, okay, from the leadership question, I think maybe Monica has scored this.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a marking rubric for every question that they ask. And basically, with me, they asked about there were 6 questions, but only 4 were graded.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. This is because they're grading from the essays, because you have to answer 4 questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get graded from what you wrote and what you expressed during the interview.
Okay. All right. So then, so after the interview, you heard from them somewhere in June, and then in June, what did they request that you do?
So after they have informed you that you have been successful, then they give you like 1 month for you to complete uploading the remaining documents. And this is basically with the unconditional offer. Because
Okay.
with the Chevening scholarship, you are given chance to apply for 3 universities, or you can choose 3 courses from maybe the same university or different universities. So after you have been successful, you have to upload to show that you have been given unconditional offer to study in the UK. And
Okay.
yeah, they usually provide the deadline, which is 15th of July. I don't know if they've changed, but during my application, it was 15th of July.
Okay. So by then you should have submitted your unconditional offer. You would have met your English language requirements and other stuff the university might request.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And then so then finally you have the scholarship. So then what does it cater? Did it cater for your flight? What are the components of the scholarship?
So actually, Chevening is a full funded scholarship. So during the visa application, you have to apply for a visa to come to the UK. So they cater for the visa. The visa cost is being paid for. They will pay for your health insurance. They will pay for your flight to and from. You will receive a monthly stipend. And they are also going to pay your school fees, your tuition fee. And what I've seen is they usually, like the university has to like contribute 20% of the tuition fee. So yeah. So, and another interesting thing is once you have completed your studies, you will given a home award amount, like this is amount maybe you will use once. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The scholarship is comprehensive. It takes care of right from the visa application, health insurance, your school fees, and then your stipend, and then your flight.
But you have to pay attention that you are not supposed to be out of the UK for more than 30 days. Yeah.
As a Chevening scholar.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So then what are some of the restrictions to this scholarship?
Okay, so one thing is once you have been offered a scholarship and you have come to study in the UK, then you have to agree that after I have completed my studies, I will go back to my home country and work for at least 2 years, a minimum of 2 years before I decide to go back to the UK. So that is the requirement for this scholarship. And with the current pandemic, we, like people wanted to, like, they missed their families and then there were no rooms to go back because borders were closed. So the Secretariat informed us that for a person who wants to go back home, then he or she may communicate with the program officer, and then they can go back home and decide to study remotely and not come back to the UK. And then your stipend will be paid with the rates that they relate to the expenses in your country.
Okay, wow. Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So on the whole, what can you tell us about your experience?
So actually it has been so good, I can say. And starting with the academic life here, actually with the current pandemic, it had to be blended learning. For my first semester, it was a blended learning that you can either decide to go on campus or you can decide to study online. And when things worsened because of COVID, my second semester, we only studied online. It was totally online. But the experience that I had was so good because you get a chance to interact with high profile lecturers, and even their teaching methodology is, I really like how we are being taught, like you get a chance to broaden your horizon, to critically and creatively think in a global perspective. So that was very, very interesting thing that I've learned, I've experienced here in the UK. And apart from that, going to social life, with the current pandemic, restrictions were lifted. I mean, there are so many restrictions, but that didn't make us not to connect with other people. And the support from the Chevening Secretariat, like they were arranging webinars, online events whereby you can meet with other scholars and network. So that was so good from her side. Yeah. And another thing with UK is so rich in heritage and it's with cultural diversity. Yeah. So you get a chance to travel and see the history of UK, and also meeting people when restrictions were lifted up, and then you get to learn like what other people are doing, people from Africa, people from Asia, people from every country. I mean, yeah, across the globe. So It is rich in cultural diversity.
So I wanted to find out, so once you get a scholarship and then you start the program, do they assess you, let's say every semester when your results come in, do they assess you and see that, okay, so this lady is doing well, so she deserves continual support, or once you get the scholarship, that is it? Like nothing can take you away from the opportunities.
So actually, once you are offered a scholarship, they know that you're going to complete your studies. You know, Chevening is a very competitive scholarship, and don't quote me wrong. It doesn't mean that people who have been chosen for Chevening are better than those who failed. No, but from my experience is once they have offered you a scholarship, they will do the follow-up. Like they will ask you to provide a contact address from your course coordinator or someone who is in charge of you during your academic journey, and then they will keep in touch with that person. And in case of anything, once maybe they want to like ask for your results, your semester results, then they will keep in touch with your course coordinator. The usual follow-up to see how you're doing.
Okay, wow, that's nice. Yeah. Do you have any tips for prospective applicants? Some people, I know some friends who are good, and I'm sure if they should apply, probably they might get, but people see the Chevening scholarship as highly competitive and they go like, looking at all these countries, I don't have a chance. And how many people do they actually select? Do you know roughly the number? Let's say in a year, those who apply from different countries, how many get the opportunity to have the scholarship?
Okay, so starting with your last question, like how
Okay.
many people get the scholarship? In my year, we applied, it was approximately 55,000 people across the globe, and only 1,300 applicants were offered the scholarship.
Wow,
So,
congratulations once again.
thank you.
Many are chosen, but you are selected. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a very competitive scholarship. So first thing is any applicant have to look for eligibility. It's very pertinent to see if you are eligible to apply for the scholarship. And after meeting the eligibility criteria, you have to plan and start building up from there your application. You should never wait until it is late, then you start you start again writing your essays. It won't be perfect. So plan early and start early. And another thing is during your application, it's very important to have someone to review your essays to see if, and it would be much better if it could be someone who knows you well, like what you have been doing, or if it's someone new, then be in a position to explain to him or her everything that you have been doing, show your leadership traits so that it becomes easy for them to like peer review your essays. And another thing, very important thing, is to pay attention to timeline. I remember it was last year I was mentoring some applicants and they just missed like 2 hours, you know, the time difference. They missed to upload the application thinking that time is yet to be finished. But so yeah, I think it's very, very important to pay attention to deadlines and timelines and ensure that in every stage of the application, you clearly work on what you are writing, ensure that it is concise and very corrective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot goes into this scholarship. So once you decide to partake or once you decide to take part in the entire application, then you should give in your all.
Exactly,
Give in
yes.
your all.
Devote yourself, devote your time and everything.
Okay. So would you recommend the UK to people to come and study in the UK so far? Do you like the system?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes. And one reason is the high quality of education provided here in the UK. You know, the UK universities are being regularly assessed by the quality assurance agents for higher education. So if you get a chance to study here in the UK and successfully complete your studies, then you will be offered a prestigious qualification that is recognized globally, you know. And also with the teaching methodology here in the UK, it's an interactive teaching methodology. And as I said before, you will get a chance to broaden your horizon, think critically and creatively, and have this global perspective thinking. So studying in the UK is very, very beautiful, I can say, and you will get a chance to learn a lot of things here in the UK. The culture also, the rich in history, like you will meet different people, you will see different architect and everything. So it's quite interesting. And studying here, I remember when we are young, we were told like you have to think outside the box. But while in the UK, you will not only think outside the box, you will have to look like at every angle of the box and the box itself. So it provides a room for people to develop their thinking, their critical thinking and appraising things.
Yeah.
So I will definitely recommend people to come and study here in the UK. And another thing is, apart from all that I have mentioned, you also get to learn language skills, excellent language skills, So, yeah.
So that is the home of English language. Yeah, the
Yeah,
UK.
exactly.
And one thing I also like, which you mentioned, is the history and culture, especially if you are in Aberdeen. Like, if you see the buildings alone, they tell you a whole lot. I used to tell my friend that anytime we walk on the campus road, on the King's College, I used to tell her that, look at this building. Like, I'm just imagining the ancestors who have passed through the system. Like, and the school is 525 years. So you can imagine that's a lot of history to study. And they've really maintained the buildings, and it's really a nice place to be, actually. But for the weather and the wind, the wind can really push you away. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And I was told like every building here in Scotland has a history.
Okay.
So if you want to explore something, then it would be quite a good opportunity to learn the history of Scotland. Yeah.
Okay, Monica, it's been nice having you. I think at this juncture, we will bring the interview to an end. And I hope that viewers, you have learned a thing or two from Monica with regard to the Chevening Scholarship application. And then if you have any further questions you would want to ask, you can always put it at the comment section, and then we will try as much as possible to assist you. So on this note, I would want to say thank you again, Monica, for this opportunity. I know you have lots of busy schedules. It's not easy being a Chevening scholar. Like, you have to live up to expectations. So sparing me some time to have this interview, I'm really, really honored. And I want to say God bless you. Sounding more like an African, highly religious. God bless you for your time. And then I pray that you have a fruitful final semester. And then hopefully graduation is in November for you, right? I get to graduate before you. Yeah, so mine is in July. So then I wish you the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for having me today. It's a honor actually talking to you. I'm very happy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So on this note, I'll say adios. Bye-bye.
Bye.